Hi, my name is Adam Gilbert, and the following video is supposed to be a mock interview for a prospective employer. So that is my intended audience.
Hi Adam, thanks for coming in today. I see on your resume that you graduated recently from the University of Washington with a degree in integrated social sciences. I've never heard about that major. Could you tell me a little bit about what you studied?
Right, so the ISS program is Integrated Social Sciences, which encapsulates a very broad subject. So social sciences, I studied things from cultural codes and communication to intro to psychology, as well as the creative advantage of communication, globalization, just to name a few classes. So we're covering all things from culture, society, anthropology. We even touch on economics. There's a course that touches on food distribution and wealth of varying countries, and mainly the U.S. as well. So it gives you good perspective of how the world works, I think. And I think mainly what I got from it was how to communicate best with people, both from a one-on-one aspect as well as having a fundamental understanding of potentially of their background.
That's really interesting. Yeah, communication is very important in our organization, and specifically for the job that you are applying for. I think that it would be very pertinent. So sounds like you have a good background. What did you think of completing your degree online? How was that experience for you?
Well, it's challenging in that during the course of my degree, I also had work full-time. There wasn't a time in which I didn't do both. So while the draw of online education is the fact that it's on your own pace, which a lot would probably enjoy, and I think at times that is convenient. I've also found it to be pretty challenging at times as well, keeping a full-time job and doing things, such as exercising and keeping a social life, getting married, all those types of things definitely happened while getting this degree. But overall, I think it gave me skills that are invaluable, such as time management and work ethic. I think it's a proven track record of self-motivation to be able to complete a degree while still having all those things that I mentioned before. So ultimately, I would say that it's given me a lot in terms of work ethic and responsibility, and in that sense, I think it's very unique, and I'm very grateful to have gone through the experience in the way that I did.
Yeah, it sounds like that program gave you a lot of really relevant skills. Could you just pick a few and maybe talk about some of those skills? You mentioned time management, things like communication earlier, and maybe how they would apply to our workplace or the position you're applying for.
Right, so that's one of the reasons I liked this degree so much, and to piggyback off a specific topic I mentioned would be communication. I mean, I can't see an avenue in life in which communication, both having improved skills as well as a fundamental understanding of, would not make me an awesome candidate for said position. So I have thoroughly enjoyed learning more about people in general, and from all walks of life and their background, and I think that that's given me so much more depth in terms of understanding and relationships. So communication would probably be at the foremost. I would say that my understanding of time management, like I mentioned before, having a full-time job as well as doing full-time online education, having my little family that I do have full-time, having all those things on my plate and being able to juggle them successfully, I would argue, has given me the aptitude to handle whatever a full-time job can throw at me from there on out, because I feel like I've already completed so much on my plate in terms of school and work and life. So I feel like now anything else will just feel like I have so much more time to work on things like my job, my new job, prospective career, and yeah, any others specifically that I mentioned that you want to hear more about or expand on.
No, I think those are great. I'm just thinking along the communication line. Part of your work here would be not only training dogs, and of course, working with your colleagues closely, but also working with our visually impaired clients. So I'm interested to hear about maybe how that communication might come into play in your work with our clients.
Right. So that's why I think this is potentially a perfect marriage. Not only do I have a background in animal behavior, so that piece works for me, but this new degree I feel should really help me separate myself from other candidates in that not only will I have a better understanding of how to communicate to these clients, because my understanding of the position is that these clients with visual impairments come from everywhere, from all over the world. So I feel like everything I just mentioned before this about communication would only help me to understand and relate to these clients, which would therein build more trust and therefore more reliability. And I feel like that would give me a great advantage in that position. And also, to a sense, I mentioned classes such as anthropology and globalization. I think just having a better understanding of how the world works, to a sense, has given me a greater appreciation of the workplace and people and where they come from. And I feel like there is something to be said about that. And I hadn't mentioned this class before, but one of the classes I took was Exceptional Children, which was specifically geared towards how to instruct people with visual impairments as well as people on the spectrum and everything in between. So I feel like that class was invaluable in terms of the prospective job that's being offered.
You seem like you have a lot of passion for the things that you've studied. What would you say you're most excited about bringing to this workplace? Like, what is something unique that you feel like you can offer our organization?
Other than everything I just mentioned?
Just if you were to sum it up.
Yeah, so in summary, I think that what you would be getting is someone that's clearly went above and beyond to better themselves as a student as well as a person, and someone that's always taken education and self-motivation to heart and has held it in high regard. And like I mentioned before, I think to further elaborate, I'm clearly a lifetime learner. I have degrees before this ISS degree, but I chose to go back to school to further my education on a wealth of topics. So I think you're getting a well-rounded, hardworking person that has good time management skills, is interested in people from all walks of life, finds a way to be relatable with a lot of people, and is an agreeable in nature. And yeah, I think that what else do you need?
Well, thank you very much. It sounds like you would be a great fit for our organization, and
Agreed.
appreciate your time today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.